The fashion revolutionary, Coco Chanel and the empire built on secrets. A girl should be two things, classy and fabulous. With those words, Coco Chanel didn't just define fashion. She defined herself. Born Gabrielle Bonheur Chanel in 1883 in a poor house in France, she was abandoned by her father at age 12, sent to an orphanage run by nuns, raised in poverty, in silence, in shame. By 30, she was a kept woman, a mistress to wealthy men who funded her first shops. By 40, she was a fashion revolutionary. She freed women from corsets, created the little black dress, invented Chanel No. 5, the most famous perfume in the world. By 50, she was a billionaire, one of the richest women in the world. And by 60, she was a Nazi collaborator. During World War II, while Paris was occupied, Chanel lived in the Ritz Hotel with a German officer. Her lover, she worked for German intelligence. Codename Westminster. Mission, negotiate a separate peace between Germany and Britain. It failed. But her collaboration was real. After the war, she fled to Switzerland, exile, for 15 years. But in 1954, at age 71, she returned, reopened her fashion house, and conquered the world again. She died in 1971, age 87, still working, still designing, still lying about her past. This is not a story about a fashion icon. This is a story about reinvention, about a woman who created herself from nothing, who built an empire on secrets, who collaborated with Nazis and got away with it. If stories about ambition, reinvention, and the dark side of success interest you, like, comment, and subscribe for Untold Legacies and the women who rewrote their own histories. Part 1. The Girl No One Wanted. August 19, 1883. Saumur, France. Gabrielle Bonheur Chanel is born. In a poorhouse. To unwed parents. Her mother, Jeanne de Vol, is a laundrywoman. Poor. Sickly. Her father, Albert Chanel, is a street vendor. Unreliable. Absent. Gabrielle grows up in poverty. 5 siblings. Constant hunger. Constant moving. Her mother dies when Gabrielle is 12. Tuberculosis. Her father abandons the children. Immediately. Leaves them at orphanages and with relatives. Gabrielle and her sisters are sent to an orphanage in Aubazine, run by nuns. For 6 years, Gabrielle lives there. Cold stone buildings, strict rules, silence. The nuns teach her to sew, to be disciplined, to survive. But Gabrielle learns something else: how to lie. She invents a new past. In later years, she will claim her father went to America to seek his fortune, that she was raised by maiden aunts, that she had a happy childhood. All lies. But lies that serve her. Because who wants to buy couture from an orphan? Part 2. The Singing Girl. Age 18. Gabrielle leaves the orphanage. She works as a seamstress, in a tailor's shop, in Moulins. But she wants more. She wants to be a performer. She starts singing in cafes, music halls, small venues. Her repertoire includes 2 songs, Cocorico and Kikavu Coco. The audience starts calling her Coco. The nickname sticks. She is not a great singer, but she is beautiful, slim, dark-haired, intense, and she catches the eye of wealthy men. Part 3. The Kept Woman. 1908. Coco meets Etienne Balsan, a wealthy textile heir, former cavalry officer. He is rich, bored, looking for amusement. Coco becomes his mistress. She moves into his chateau, lives a life of luxury. She rides horses, attends parties, wears expensive clothes. But she is still just a mistress, not a wife, not respected. Coco wants independence. She starts making hats, simple, elegant, different from the ornate styles popular at the time. Balsan's friends buy them, aristocratic women, actresses. Coco sees an opportunity. She asks Balsan to fund a hat shop in Paris. He agrees. But then, in 1909, Coco meets someone else. Part 4. Boy Capel. Arthur Boy Capel. English, wealthy, polo player, industrialist. He is Balsan's friend. But he becomes Coco's lover. And unlike Balsan, Capel takes Coco seriously. He funds her business, invests in her shops, believes in her talent. 1910. Coco opens her first boutique, 21 Rue Cambon, Paris, selling hats. It succeeds. 1913. Intimate shift, with growing confidence. She opens a second shop in Deauville, a fashionable resort town. She starts selling clothes, simple designs, jersey fabric, comfortable, practical. This is revolutionary. Women's fashion in 1913 is corseted, restrictive, ornate. Coco creates the opposite: freedom, simplicity, elegance, and it works. By 1915, Coco is financially independent. She pays Capel back, with interest. She is in love with him. She wants to marry him. But Capel marries someone else, a wealthy English aristocrat. Coco is devastated. Part 5. The Death of Boy Capel. December 22nd, 1919. Boy Capel dies. Car accident. On his way to visit Coco for Christmas. He crashes. The car explodes. He burns to death. Coco is shattered. She later says, "I lost everything when I lost Capel. He left a void in me that the years have not filled." But she does not stop working. She throws herself into her business, creates more, works harder, builds an empire. Because work is how she survives grief. Part 6. The Fashion Revolution. 1920s. Coco revolutionizes fashion. She popularizes the little black dress. Before Coco, black was for mourning, for servants, not for fashionable women. Coco makes black chic, elegant, essential. She creates the Chanel suit, simple, tailored, comfortable. Women can move, work, live. She cuts women's hair short, the bob, scandalous at the time. She promotes costume jewelry, fake pearls, chains. Before Coco, women only wore real jewels. Coco says jewelry should be fun, not a display of wealth. She tans, gets a sunburn on a yacht, makes it fashionable. Before Coco, pale skin was aristocratic. Tan skin was for laborers. Everything she does becomes trendy, copied, iconic. Part 7. Chanel No. 5, 1921. Coco launches Chanel No. 5. She works with perfumer Ernest Beau, Russian-born, former perfumer to the Tsars. He creates dozens of samples. She chooses No. 5. Why? She says, "I present my collections on the 5th of May, the 5th month of the year, so the No. 5 seems lucky to me." Another theory? She simply liked the 5th sample. Nothing mystical, just preference. The scent is revolutionary, floral, rose, jasmine, ylang-ylang, but also aldehydic, synthetic, chemical, modern. Before Chanel No. 5, perfumes smelled like single flowers. Rose perfume smelled like roses. Jasmine perfume smelled like jasmine. Chanel No. 5 smelled like an abstraction, like the idea of a woman, not like nature. The bottle is revolutionary too. Simple, rectangular, clear glass, geometric stopper. It looks like a medicine bottle. Minimal, modern, not like other perfume bottles. Ornate, decorative, feminine. Coco says, "I want a perfume that smells like a woman, not like a flower." She also says, Women do not want to smell like a rose garden. The marketing is brilliant. She gives bottles to her wealthy clients. They wear it, create buzz. She sells it in her boutique, but also in department stores. Accessible, available. By 1924, Chanel No. 5 is the best-selling perfume in the world. It remains so for 100 years. Marilyn Monroe famously said in 1952, "What do I wear to bed? Chanel No. 5. Just a few drops." That quote sells millions of bottles. Today, a bottle of Chanel No. 5 is sold every 30 seconds. Somewhere in the world. Part 8. The Rival. Elsa Schiaparelli. Italian designer, surrealist, bold, eccentric. In the 1930s, she rivals Coco. Schiaparelli creates shocking pink. Lobster dresses. Hat shaped like a shoe. She works with Salvador Dali, Jean Cocteau, avant-garde artists. She is everything Coco is not. Playful, theatrical, artistic. Coco hates her. Calls her that Italian artist who makes clothes. The rivalry is bitter, public, personal. But Schiaparelli's star fades after World War II. Coco's does not. Part 9. The Duke of Westminster. 1923. Coco meets Hugh Grosvenor, 2nd Duke of Westminster, one of the richest men in the world. English aristocracy, owns half of London. They have an affair. For nearly 10 years, he proposes, multiple times. Coco refuses. Why? She says, "There have been several Duchesses of Westminster. There is only one Chanel." She chooses independence over marriage. Career over title. Part 10. World War II begins. September 1939. Germany invades Poland. World War II begins. June 1940. Germany invades France. Paris falls. Coco closes her fashion house. She says, this is not a time for fashion. But she keeps her boutique open, selling perfume, accessories, and she moves into the Ritz Hotel, the most luxurious hotel in Paris. The Ritz is occupied by German officers. It is their headquarters in Paris. Coco lives there. Throughout the war. Part 11. The German Lover. Hans Gunther von Dinklage. German intelligence officer. 13 years younger than Coco. He becomes Coco's lover. They live together. In the Ritz. Is this collaboration? Or survival? Coco later claims she needed protection. That von Dinklage protected her. But documents suggest otherwise. Part 12. Operation Modellhut. 1943. Coco becomes involved in a German intelligence operation. Codename Operation Modellhut. Model hat. The mastermind, Walter Schellenberg. SS intelligence officer, head of foreign intelligence. She recruits Coco. Why her? Because she has connections. To British aristocracy. To Winston Churchill himself. She knew him through the Duke of Westminster. The plan. Coco would travel to Madrid, carry a letter, meet with British contacts. The letter would propose a separate peace between Germany and Britain. Germany would fight only the Soviets. Britain would stay neutral. Hitler was desperate. The war was turning against Germany. Stalingrad had fallen. The Allies were advancing. A separate peace with Britain would save Germany. Or so they hoped. Coco agreed to the mission. Why? Her stated reason, she wanted to free her nephew, André Palas. He was a prisoner of war in Germany. But historians believe there were other motives. She hated communism, feared Soviet victory, wanted to protect her business empire. And possibly she was blackmailed, threatened. The Nazis had leverage over everyone. December 1943, Coco travels to Madrid. Officially as a fashion buyer, she carries the letter. meets with British embassy officials, but the mission fails immediately. The British see through it. They know Coco is being used. They refuse to engage. They send word to Churchill. He is furious, but he does not expose her publicly. Coco returns to Paris. The operation is over. But her role is documented in German intelligence files. Agent number F7124. She was a registered German agent. This is fact. Part 13. The Aftermath. August 1944. Paris is liberated. Collaborators are arrested, tried, executed. Women who slept with Germans have their heads shaved, paraded through streets. Coco is arrested. Briefly, then released. Why? Winston Churchill intervenes. He is rumored to have protected her. Why would he? Some say she knew too much about British aristocrats, their Nazi sympathies, their secrets. Others say Churchill valued her as a friend, overlooked her crimes. The truth is unclear. But Coco escapes punishment. Part 14. Exile in Switzerland. 1945. Coco flees to Switzerland. Voluntarily. Before she can be prosecuted, she lives in Lausanne with von Dinklage. For years, she is exiled, hated in France, called a traitor, a Nazi collaborator. Her business is ruined, her reputation destroyed. For 9 years, she stays in Switzerland, in relative obscurity. But in 1954, she makes a decision. Reclaim her empire. Rewrite her story. Part 15. The Comeback. February 5th, 1954. Coco reopens her fashion house in Paris. She is 71 years old. The French press is brutal. They mock her, call her outdated, washed up. Her first collection is panned. Critics say her designs are old-fashioned, irrelevant. But the American press loves it. Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, Life magazine. They say Chanel is timeless, classic, elegant. American buyers flood her boutique. Orders pour in. Within 2 years, Chanel is back on top. She never apologizes for the war, never acknowledges her collaboration. She simply moves forward, biting sarcasm sustained, with simmering resentment. Part 16. The Chanel suit returns, 1950s and 1960s. The Chanel suit becomes the uniform of powerful women. Jackie Kennedy wears it, Grace Kelly, Elizabeth Taylor. The design, boxy jacket, knee-length skirt, chain-weighted hem. Well, man, quilted lining. It is comfortable and professional. You chic. Coco says, luxury must be comfortable, otherwise it is not luxury. Maybe into the 17. Coco versus the world. This has opinions. Less strong ones. She hates Yves Saint Laurent. She calls his designs disgusting. She hates Christian Dior's new look. She waits it makes women look like upholstered armchairs. She hates miniskirts. She hates them vulgar. She hates hippies. She calls them dirty. She is old. Well, conservative. Elitist. But women still buy her clothes. Then 18. This is a portrait she kept. This Choco lies about everything. She keep this Coco's. They're jumped to be 10 years younger than she is. Her past. She erases the orphanage. Invents a genteel upbringing. Invents her war record. She denies collaboration. She acclaims an evanescence. She burns letters. Destroys documents. She invades history. And mostly, it works. Because Coco understands, perception is reality. The story you tell becomes the truth. It's some teen, Coco, January 10th, 1971. Coco dies. In her suite at the Ritz Hotel. January 87. She had been working that day. She caused the story was unattending the last words reportedly. You see, this is how you die. She is buried in Lausanne, Switzerland, in a simple grave, wearing a Chanel suit. Her funeral is attended by her staff. A few friends. No family. She had none. Part 20. The Legacy. Chanel becomes one of the most valuable fashion brands in the world, worth billions. Recognized globally. The interlocking C logo, the quilted handbag, the number 5 perfume bottle. Icons. But the woman behind the brand, complex, problematic, fascinating. Part 21. The Nazi question. How do we reconcile Coco's genius with her collaboration? Some say, separate the art from the artist. Her designs are brilliant. Her politics, irrelevant. Others say, you cannot separate them. She profited from Nazi occupation. She actively harmed people. Let's be specific about what she did. 1. She lived with a German intelligence officer throughout the occupation, in luxury, while Parisians starved. 2. She worked as a German agent. Code number F7124. Carried out Operation Modellhut. 3. She used Nazi Aryan laws to steal her business. Explanation. Chanel No. 5 was co-owned by the Wertheimer family, Jewish businessmen. They owned 70%. Coco owned 10%. In 1940, the Nazis passed laws. Jews could not own businesses. Coco tried to use these laws to seize full ownership, to steal the Wertheimers' shares. She wrote to Nazi officials, argued the business should be Aryanized, given to her. It failed. The Wertheimers had transferred ownership before fleeing France to a Christian proxy, but Coco tried. She attempted to profit from Jewish persecution. 4. After the war, she showed no remorse, never apologized, denied everything. These are facts, documented, undeniable. So yes, Coco was a Nazi collaborator and an opportunist who tried to profit from genocide. Can we separate her fashion from this? Each person must decide. Part 22. The Erasure. For decades, Chanel the company downplayed Coco's Nazi ties. Official biographies omitted it, glossed over the war years, focused on fashion. But in the 2000s, historians uncovered documents, archives opened. The truth emerged. Coco was a registered German intelligence agent. Code number F7124. Measured. Agent name, Westminster. This is fact. Documented. Undeniable. Part 23. Why she survived. How did Coco escape punishment? Theory 1. Churchill protected her. She knew too many secrets. Theory 2. She had dirt on powerful people. Blackmail. Theory 3. She was rich, influential, connected. Justice is not equal. Theory 4. France wanted to move on. Prosecuting a famous designer was bad for morale, bad for business. Probably all of the above. Part 24. The orphan who conquered. With a faint undercurrent of awe. Strip away the lies. I lum. The scandal. What remains? An orphan that sanded, told she was worthless. She decided, I will create myself. I will become someone. I will matter. And she did. Through talent. Through ruthlessness. Resolute, with a faint undercurrent of awe. Through reinvention. Coco Chanel built an empire from nothing. Part 25. The price of ambition. But what did it cost? She had no family, no children, no husband. She had lovers, but they left, or died, or disappointed. She had success, but no one to share it with. She died alone, in a hotel room, Still working. Was it worth it? Only she could answer, and she never did. Part 26. Lessons from Coco. What does Coco's story teach us? Lesson 1. Reinvention is possible. Coco rewrote her past, created a new identity, and the world believed it. Lesson 2. Style is power. Coco understood. How you present yourself matters. Image is everything. Success requires ruthlessness. Coco collaborated with Nazis, betrayed partners, lied constantly, and succeeded. Lesson 4. The past catches up. Eventually the truth emerges. Archives open. Historians investigate. Part 27. Coco in popular culture. Movies, books, plays, musicals. Coco before Chanel, 2009. Audrey Tautou. Coco Chanel and Igor Stravinsky, 2009. The Chanel musical on Broadway. Katharine Hepburn. Dozens of biographies. All tell slightly different stories, emphasize different aspects, but all agree Coco was extraordinary. Part 28. The brand today. Chanel is now owned by the Wertheimer family, Jewish businessmen. Ironic, because Coco used Nazi laws to try to steal their shares during the war. They got the company back after the war and kept it. Today, Chanel is worth over $100 billion. Karl Lagerfeld designed for them from 1983 to 2019. Virginie Viard designs now, but the Coco Chanel mystique remains. The brand is built on her legend. Part 29. A tribute to complexity. This is not a tribute to Coco, the Nazi collaborator, nor is it a tribute to Coco, the fashion genius. This is a tribute to complexity. Humans are not simple, not good or evil, not hero or villain. Coco was both, brilliant and complicit, revolutionary and regressive. She freed women from corsets and collaborated with fascists. Both are true. Part 30. Why this channel exists. If this exposed something about ambition, reinvention, and the cost of success, do 3 things. 1. Like this video. 2. Subscribe and turn on notifications. 3. Comment and tell me, can you separate Coco's genius from her collaboration? Should we still celebrate her or condemn her? Coco Chanel spent 87 years creating herself, from orphan to icon, from nobody to legend. She revolutionized fashion, built an empire, changed how women dress, and she collaborated with Nazis, betrayed partners, lied about everything. She was brilliant and terrible. She was Coco Chanel. Final thanks and shoutouts. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, you are part of the Her Empire community. This channel exists to tell the truth about powerful women. The celebrated, the condemned, the complicated. Coco Chanel was all 3. Next week, we will cover another story, another woman, another examination of power and what it costs. Until then, remember, people are complex, history is messy, and sometimes the icons we worship have very dark secrets. Stay curious, stay critical, and never stop questioning the stories we are told.